I'm Robert Henry at the Landmark Theater in Los Angeles for a special screening of the documentary film From Philadelphia to Fallujah.
At the World Trade Center.
When September 11th happened, everybody at the Academy knew that at some point in time they were going to be deployed in support of a combat operation.
Coming up next, you'll hear from the creators of this special film.
Drove home, pulled in the driveway, and I walked in, and there was a Marine captain and a warrant officer. I knew immediately what had happened.
You guys are warriors. Out there, right now, today, that's your damn battlefield.
This game is a season.
It's so special, Dick, and I've been fortunate to be part of what I thought was a great rivalry in Michigan, Ohio State for so many years. You and I have done Super Bowls, but this week, visiting both academies has been an extraordinary week for both of us.
There's never been a game ever, including the 8 Super Bowls that I've called, never been a game more important than calling that Army-Navy game.
We have something that has happened here at the World Trade Center.
When September 11th happened, everybody at the Academy knew that at some point in time they were going to be deployed in support of a combat operation.
I remember telling her, of course, I love you, and I'll see you soon. I didn't want to leave any doubt or leave any concern from her that, I might not be coming back home.
And we all know that we come to a service academy that during times of crisis, we're going to be asked to step up and serve the country. I'm willing to do that for the people who died that day. That's pretty powerful for a kid 20 years old.
With me is Marty Lasniars. He's a producer of the documentary film From Philadelphia to Fallujah. He's also a partner in the firm Sweet Prince Productions. Marty, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me, what was the process like being a producer of this documentary film and as a partner at Sweet Prince Productions?
Well, the process started about 2 years ago for me. Gil's had this idea for many, many years, Gil Bindleglass. And but about 2 years ago, we began discussing actually making the film. That went on approximately for a year until about the end of 2010, and then it was at that point where we decided to greenlight it, move forward, and start making the film. Once we did that, Gil took over the reins, if you will. He was the executive producer. My role was more to make sure that things got moved along and more or less get it delivered and get it finished on time for, for presentation approximately around this year's Army-Navy game, which was the 10-year anniversary.
What do you think of the film?
Oh, well, I'm very biased in that respect. I think the film came out extremely well. I think it accomplished everything we wanted it to do, which was to show not only the game itself, but to take a look at the players involved, their commitment, what it means to be a cadet, if you will, to go through it and then to move on and get called into war and their lives afterwards.
What other projects do you have going on at Sweet Prince that you can tell us about?
Oh, goodness. We have several projects going on currently. We are currently in production on a full feature-length thriller, which is called currently The Algerian, also tied into, if you will, terrorist plot, etc. We also have a couple of different films that are based for the educational market, that are Shakespearean plays that are being presented for high school audiences, etc. So separate from that, we also, as you well know, we have several projects going on in the digital arena, excuse me, regarding health and fitness, which you are involved in, and also working on an interview show that is also on the digital arena.
Very full plate, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, we want to keep busy, actually, so.
Now, this documentary from Philadelphia to Fallujah was broadcast on the local CBS affiliate in Washington, D.C., I understand, the night before the Army-Navy game this year. Do you have any feedback yet about how that broadcast went over with the audiences there?
Yes, I do, very much. I went to grad school in Washington, D.C., and spent about 8 years after 5 years or so working as a consultant to Department of Defense organizations, etc. And so I still have a lot of friends in the D.C. area, all of which I let them know about the show. Many of them watched the show and universally thought it was excellent. So we've gotten a lot of good responses back from them.
Marty, thank you very much for joining us today. With me is Gil Bindleglass. He's the executive producer of the documentary film From Philadelphia to Fallujah. He's also a partner in Sweet Prince Productions. Gil, welcome.
Thank you, Robert. It's good to be here.
Gil, tell us, how did you come to choose these three particular football players from the Army-Navy game of 2001?
Well, Robert, obviously there's many stories, many compelling stories, many individuals that we could have chosen. These three stories, these three individuals were, their journeys were so compelling, and we felt that the stories kind of told themselves. And it wasn't that hard to pick these guys to want to profile.
Have you had a chance to screen this film for any graduates of Annapolis or West Point?
We haven't had a formal screening, but I have had several graduates, some actual generals, former West Point grads that have seen the film and have been extremely complimentary. It's quite a nice feeling when you get an email from a 4-star general telling you, complimenting you on the film. So.
Oh, that's great. Now, how can people see this film? How can viewers out there, how can they watch this film?
Well, right now it's available on our website. People can log on to www.armynavy2001.com. They can stream or download it from our website. It's also been broadcast on the CBS affiliate in Washington, D.C., and we're hoping to have other CBS affiliates and other networks around the country soon.
Yeah, I understand that it was aired in Washington, D.C. on the night before this year's Army-Navy game. Do you have any feedback on audience reaction to that broadcast?
Yeah, it was actually part of an hour special this year, aired the night before the game, and we've gotten great feedback. People thought it was a very compelling piece, so it was nice to hear.
What other projects do you have that you can tell us about that you're working on right now?
Well, Robert, we're looking into a variety of projects, some other documentaries, some other narratives revolving actually around this subject matter, this film, and we're looking into some new media projects. So there's quite a few things on our plate that are coming down the pike.
Gil, thank you very much for joining us.
All right, thanks, Robert. It's good to be here.
The film again is From Philadelphia to Fallujah, and the website is armynavy2001.com. Thank you. With me is Julian Ong. He's the editor of the documentary film From Philadelphia to Fallujah. Julian, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us, what was it like? What was the process like being the editor of this documentary?
It was a lot of fun. It was very collaborative, and it was good. It was a good experience for me. Working with Gil was, it was, like I said, it was collaborative. We, pass a lot of ideas back and forth, and that's how we work together. So,
how long did it take to edit the film? And if you know, how long did it take to shoot the film?
I don't know how long it took to shoot. I think it was over the course of a few weeks, and then it took us about a month and a half to put the edit together. And that was, Gil was really